Ready for the video?
Ready for the video.
Let's get it.
All right.
Presence. Now one more together. What's vibing? This is Vish
Kai,
and today we'll be responding to Sadhguru's video on
how Buddha spent his last day.
do you ever find yourself stressed, anxious, or nervous? Well, that used to be me all the time. And then I found meditation. And I've currently got over hundreds of people on their journeys, and I will soon be coming out with a product for meditation. So stay tuned for that. And today I'm here with Kai. Want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Kai. I'm 21. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I'm excited to be here today.
Thank you so much for being here. And where can they find you?
My Insta name is kaj.bae.
Check her out. Her stuff will be down below. Sadhguru is a yogi, mystic, and visionary who's truly enlightening the world. And with that, let's get into the video.
He said, stop this nonsense, ask some question. Today's the last day. When the master is alive, constantly is de-entangling you. Afterwards, just sadhana. He's lived well. When death comes, he will die well.
Namaskaram Sadhguru. Why are we so afraid of death?
See, right now, why there is so much fear is the substance of your life is only in your clothes, your jewels, your education, a few people that you gathered around you. That's all the substance of your life is. All these things can be taken away from you any moment, isn't it? This is the only thing which is giving you solidity. Yes? That little bit of education, your clothes, your jewels, your bank balance, a few people around you, this is all that is giving you some sense of solidity of being a being. This is not a being, this is a patch-up job. So, with such petty blocks, when you build a building, naturally you should be very worried when it'll collapse. Now, instead of using a stone block for this column, if I use the twig, definitely I'll be always worried when it'll collapse on my head, isn't it? Isn't it so? That's your worry, that's your fear, because you're trying to build your life with twigs, not with solid material, not with reality, with illusory things. Always you will live in fear, there is no other way to live. There is simply… if you're living in a house which is supported by twigs, being afraid that it'll collapse on your head is very natural, isn't it? That's all that's happened to you. It's time you bring something more substantial into your life. If you bring something more substantial, then suddenly you find, if you sit here, everything is fine. Life or death, still it is fine. That's how it'll be. A very beautiful story. Buddha, on the last day of his life, he always had a breakfast of rice gruel in the morning. And after this breakfast was over, he always met the monks who were around him. And every day he said, if you have a question, you ask. This went on for 40 years. 40 years of his enlightened life. Every day after breakfast, he spoke. Whoever was there, 10 people, 10,000 people, whatever number, after breakfast he always sat down and spoke. So on the last day of his life, he knows this is the last day. He had his rice gruel and he sat down and he said, today is the last day. If you have anything to ask, ask. So many of the monks started crying. I said, what are you crying? At least some other day if you were crying, it's okay. Today is the last day, don't waste the time because it's ticking away. Some other day you could cry and roll and you had time for all those things. Today, If you want to ask something, you ask. He was surprised that people are crying. But Master, we have been with you for so long, you're leaving today and they're crying, nobody asking any questions. He said, stop this nonsense, ask some question. Today's the last day, any doubt? Let's clear it. After that, there is only teaching. Nobody to clear this and that, See, with every teaching you can get into a mess. When the Master is alive, constantly is de-entangling you. Afterwards, no de-entangling, just sadhana is all that is there. So today is the last day, if you want to ask any questions, please ask. It's just matter of fact about it. He's lived well. When death comes, he will die well. He's so certain that he'll die well. So, it's just another day. One day you took on the body, another day you walked about with the body, another day you leave the body. You make a big issue out of it, simply because you have a keyhole vision of life.
As Kala Bhairava, he is the destroyer of time. What you call as life or the approaching death is only because of time. Shukracharya just revives them with the Sanjivini mantra. Then Shiva said, there is no need to kill him, I will contain him. Whatever I try to do, I become that. If I dispense death, I become death. One who constantly feels death within himself, his life will reverberate across the existence.
For most people, who I am is not apparent in the way I live. Probably you will know who I am just by seeing the way I die.
A very interesting story and also very insightful that Sadhguru shared with us. What did you think, Kai?
For sure. I liked how he pointed out the truth that we see death as this big scary thing because we don't like change, you know, it's scary. And he kind of made it, you know, seem like it's how the world works. And I think it's definitely sad when people die, when people go. You can't help too much the way you feel, but you can change the way you think about it and perceive it, and that can change how you feel about it.
Thank you so much for sharing that, and I truly very much agree and resonate with that as well. It's really just this fear that's conditioned within us, and in a way it's important, as I've learned, to embrace it, mainly because of the fact that if there was no expiration date, quote unquote, there would be no value to this moment that we have. Being aware of it shouldn't be something that is thought of in terms of fear, but it should be looked at consciously, because that way, whenever you do realize or you're aware of that, you will truly make use of this second, right? And those seconds are wasted. So it's kind of how he mentioned the Buddha on the last day. He was telling his monk people or friends, or disciples, he's a very practical person, right? And he said that there's no point in wasting the last seconds I have here crying, just ask questions. Was there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think that when you look at life that way, it'll make you be more present. I think in the 10 years that he taught, maybe weren't as special as the last day, just because, well, they were special because each day is special, but the last day had a significant meaning because it was the last time, and I think maybe it gave them the impetus to ask more deep questions, and if it wasn't the last day, they may not have learned that or asked that, and so I think there is a lot of value in things ending.
Well, that was also very beautiful what you just shared right there, and going off of that, I've learned and realized this thing recently actually, which is we tend to always associate, what's the opposite of death? How would you describe it?
The opposite of death. The answer that I want to say is life, but I want to think about it a little bit before I answer. The opposite of death. Opportunity, maybe?
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. And the first answer that you provided is really what most of us think, right? And even I used to as well, life and death, life and death, life and death. But the reality is, objectively, and this is not even spiritual to keep this serious or transparent, it's birth. Literally, the opposite of death is birth.
Right.
Life is eternal. So it's something that's always there and always will be there. So it's all about living that eternal in the present moment and realizing that that's all you ever have. And really embracing it. And that is why I've been doing a lot of presence practicing. And we even started this video in the beginning, even towards the end, I usually like to close it off with a quick presence breath.
Right.
It really helps us get grounded and really, again, appreciate that moment that we have.
Right.
And no matter how challenging it is, you'll also realize that it's all temporary. This shall too pass. So that can be viewed in a, as you mentioned, perception is key, right? So in looking at, let's say, a tough or challenging moment, you can view that as a this shall too pass and it'll soon be gone. Or let's just say it's something that's very enjoyable. You can still say the same thing, but then use that as a way to truly enjoy it.
Right.
So in both ways it applies, and it's very simple.
I think that on his last day, the monks might have been more present, but I think if we look at the depth of moments as well, I think we can think about, okay, this isn't going to be here too long, let me take advantage of it, let me take advantage of meeting this person or being in this moment, because it's going to pass, it's going to die. And so I think if you look at each moment like that as well, you can learn to appreciate it more.
Very powerful. Thank you for sharing. And with that, would love to hear what you thought about the video and how you feel about this type of serious topic in the comments down below. And don't forget to check out Kai also down below. And if you have other video requests, also comment that down below. And with that, make it a great day. Take it joyfully. Presence. One together. And stay conscious. Great. And that's a wrap. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.